And there you have it. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2. It was a rubbish game. We got something out of it in the end. But wow. It was a crazy first half. When you look at the starting lineup, and we have a fit again Thomas Partey, who doesn't even see the field today, and Jorginho starts, you already knew it was going to be a long day. A guy that runs backwards, he just passes the ball sideways. You knew we were going to be overrunning the midfield with the likes of Gallagher, Caicedo, Enzo. You knew it was going to be a long day. And Chelsea didn't disappoint. One of the early sticking points was when Palmer gives Jesus a nasty challenge. And the referee didn't even go check VAR. He gives him a yellow card. You knew he was going to be in for a long day. And sure enough, the same Cole Palmer, when a beautiful cross was put in and Mudryk tries to head it, and it's handled, unfortunately, by Saliba. The aforementioned Palmer steps up, takes the penalty. Chelsea are 1-0 up. This is something that they didn't need because they already were on the front foot in the game. They were dominating us in the midfield. Their defense didn't have to do anything because Jesus was all over the pitch. He was at left back. He was at defensive mid. Martinelli was playing like he can play at times, where he doesn't look for his man, he doesn't lift his head, and he just runs down blind alleys. Saka looked like a player who didn't play for weeks. He didn't have his legs under him. Odegaard was nowhere to be found. What a surprise, because we know in big games he doesn't show up. Again, when you need your captain to put the game on his back, to put his players on his back, I'm not asking him to fight the players. I'm not asking him to shout at guys, but demand the ball, drive at the defense, take shots from outside, take free kicks for your team. No, he doesn't do those types of things. He ghosts in these types of games. Declan Rice was just running around like a headless chicken. Zinchenko, who was at left back, of course, played at central mid, got a stupid yellow card going over to the right wing to foul Mudryk. Puts him in a situation where he can't do anything defensively. And Raheem Sterling, almost on cue, torches him on that side. Literally every time you look up, the ball falls at Sterling, and Sterling is running at our team, doing whatever the hell he wanted. And if they had any type of quality up front, they would have been out of sight in the first half. Luckily for us, we go into the break, and it's 0-0. Excuse me. We go into the break, and it's 1-0. Straight after coming out of halftime, Arteta wastes no time. He takes off Zinni. He puts on Tomiyasu. Shortly after, of course, who would have thought Mykhailo Mudryk, with a mishit cross, somehow gets it over David Raya, who was way off of his line. The things that we hated when Ramsdale did when he was getting chipped. Of course, Mudryk gets his goal against us. Who would have thought, right? The storylines, the scenes. Mudryk scores against us, of course. Raya, who was just absolutely ridiculous today. He looked rattled throughout. Shortly after that goal, passes it straight to Cole Palmer. And fortunately, he's able to get in front of the shot and parry it out for a corner. He just looked ridiculous out there. And he wasn't the only one. As I said, no one in our team looked good. We finally made some subs. And of course, Jorginho was taken off. Jesus was taken off. You would have thought that the guy that we paid $45 million for would have been able to stay on the pitch. But of course, Arteta has his son, which is Eddie, who had to come on to the pitch. We still look rubbish. Nobody looks good. And by this point, it's 2-0. Chelsea's trying to manage the game. They make some defensive subs. They get their danger men off, which then, against the run of play, Sanchez passes the ball out, which then gets cut out by Declan Rice, who hits a missile into an open net. Gives us a little bit of hope, because now we're in the game, even though we didn't do anything to be in the game. Now we're in it. We make a couple of more subs later, and then it was crazy because now we're starting to build. We're starting to get into the game. Saka's getting the ball more. We're getting a foothold in the game because now they don't have an outlet. So now we're finally getting to the game. We're still not connecting it with anybody, but we're finally doing something. And sure enough, we have a small bit of passage to play. Saka gets the cross in. Trossard cuts in at the far post and gets a beautiful finish past Sanchez. Sanchez should have saved it because it literally went through his hands, but who cares? 2-2. We shithoused our way to a 2-2 draw. Moments after. This is what I've been calling for because this is how Eddie plays, and for whatever reason, we never play to his strengths. A long ball over the top. Eddie's running with Thiago Silva. He puts the ball just wide of the post, just wide. But this is what I've been saying. The way we've been playing, we haven't been using Eddie the way he needs to be used. Even though we know Eddie needs 50 chances to score one, but that's how we need to be playing with Eddie. Eddie's unfortunate there. All in all, you know what I mean? We huffed and puffed, but we never looked like we was going to score a third. The way we were playing, by that point, we was on top of Chelsea because Chelsea made too many defensive changes. They never looked like scoring a third. The referee, who saw the momentum shifting, was giving them cheap fouls, and all in all, the rubbish game ended with a draw. Situations like this, of course, we'll take it. We didn't play well throughout the game, and we yes, you would love the 3 points, but at least we didn't lose the game. So it was a point gain today when we did nothing. As we know, Chelsea has a great defensive record. They had their little rough patch. They're coming out of it. As they always say, this is the worst time to play a team, and we saw that today. But it was fantastic that we got a point out of this. We didn't lose. Our unbeaten record stays intact. Now we look forward to going to Spain, where we verse Sevilla in the Champions League this Tuesday. They played Madrid today. They're not going to be an easy team to play, but hopefully we learn something from this. And when I say we, the manager, because yet again he creates problems for himself and the team. But that's something to see. Hopefully we could fix at some point, and he doesn't overcomplicate things when he doesn't have to overcomplicate things. But once again, we move forward to the next game. See you guys in the next one.